Hi, hope you're having a great day. You're watching JFG Entertainment, and for this video, I'm going to be going over 5 things that the Batgirl movie being cancelled could mean for a bunch of things. It could mean for Warner Brothers Discovery, for DC, for the story going forward in DC, for HBO Max especially. You know, a lot of these things, what this could mean for the future of basically Warner Bros. Discovery and everything included, including DC and HBO Max. So 5 different things that this could mean, and trust me, all these things are very, very important. Some of them are intertwined, some of them are definitely going to become true, some of them might not, but that's why they said could mean, you know what I mean? So yeah, that's what's going to be this video. Hope you enjoy this video. It's really informative. So yeah, let's get started. So let's start with the first thing. And the first thing that the Batgirl movie cancellation could mean is that only from now on, starting from this moment, only blockbuster level DC movies are going to get released. From now on, only blockbuster level. Nothing street level, no. Only blockbuster level, only a huge spectacle. And this comes after David Zaslav himself said that, which is the new leader, the main leader at Warner Bros. Discovery, now that Warner Bros. And Discovery just very recently merged. And according to a bunch of articles, Variety, Deadline, all those things they've been covering, that David Zaslav has said that he's determined to make DC only big blockbuster movies. Very huge spectacle, kind of like how Marvel movies are like huge in spectacle. That's kind of how David Zaslav feels about DC. So he wants to make these movies a huge spectacle, and Batgirl was not that. Batgirl was very clearly a street movie. In fact, the movie originally had a budget for $70 million, and it was supposed to be an HBO Max original. It was always intended to be that. However, due to reshoots and COVID, it ended up being around $90 million. COVID really affected this movie from like Omicron, whenever Omicron like blew up. So yeah, I can definitely see why this was such a huge thing. Delays, had to pay more people because of delays, all that stuff definitely increased the budget by a lot. Due to this $90 million budget, the movie was too expensive and too big for HBO Max, according to David Zaslav, yet too small scale for theaters. Beyond that, it would cost way more to make the movie grander in scale with reshoots and everything. Plus the marketing that they had to add to put a movie to a theater, it just would have resulted in a financial loss, which is why they decided to take the tax thingy that they got so they could at least get some money back, which is super interesting the way that worked. And clearly David Zaslav is determined. Nope, I don't want any movie that's smaller than blockbuster level. And Batgirl is the first example, because Batgirl was a smaller scale. It was always intended to be a smaller scale movie. That's why it was an HBO Max movie. It was always supposed to be at a smaller scale. Even the villain Firefly, not super well known, even though a lot of people were hyped up to see him, I would personally was hyped up to see him. He's a little bit lower scale. He's not like a Scarecrow or like a Joker. He's nowhere near that, you know what I mean? He's just a smaller level villain. Yet the movie still looked great. In my personal opinion, the movie still looked great. So it's really interesting that he no longer, David Zaslav, the new leader at Warner Bros. Discovery, no longer wants any street level movies. Nope, he wants full big blockbuster movies. I wonder if this is a good change or a bad change. I'm kind of mixed on it. You know, I think you'll always see those street level movies, and this doesn't really. I feel like getting rid of them completely could really hurt the things, especially since it was going to come on HBO Max. I think it would have made sense. Okay, street level movie on HBO Max, that's perfect, and then big blockbusters in theaters, just like how Marvel was doing street level things on Disney Plus, and then big blockbuster things on theaters. So yeah, that's how I felt like they could have done it, but I guess not. I guess it was just too much money to throw away. So I guess that's how it works. So oh well. But yeah, that's the first thing this means, and this is for sure. This could very much mean that we're definitely gonna get a Superman movie very soon. David Zaslav is not playing around when it comes to DC. He wants to get DC back on track. It's his main priority because it's the biggest IP in the Warner Brothers merger. So clearly he wants to get them back on track, which means that we're probably gonna get a Superman movie very soon, because you know he is big blockbuster level. Batman movie always coming, you know what I mean? Wonder Woman movie for sure, big blockbuster. Aquaman's already coming, probably more Aquaman. Expect like those big famous DC characters, Flash movie, or a Green Lantern movie perhaps. You know, all those big DC characters, they need their movie. Cyborg movie, you know, those big DC characters, expect the movie for them, because he needs a big blockbuster thing. So yeah, that's the first thing you can expect, and this is a good change personally, and a bad change. You know, like I said, I think it was these street levels, so it's kind of bad. But at the same time, I'm very happy to see Superman again and stuff like that. They need to come back. You know, Superman hasn't had a movie since 2013. Almost 10 years, that's insane. So, you know what I mean? That's really insane. He was almost an iconic hero. Now he's not, you know what I mean? So, yeah, let's see how David Zaslav does it with bringing back these kind of blockbuster level movies to DC. And if you can rebrand the brand from being kind of like the worst version of Marvel to being like the more bigger, grand scale version of Marvel. We'll find out. We'll find out very soon. Now, what is the second thing that this Batgirl movie cancellation means? Well, the second thing that this Batgirl movie cancellation means is that no film is safe. No film in the DC that's being made right now by DC is safe. What do I mean by that? Well, Batgirl was cancelled despite finishing filming and reshoots. They had also done reshoots already, as well as deep into post-production, which post-production is after they finish filming. It's kind of like VFX, editing, all type of stuff. I'm assuming most of the editing was already done. I think it was mostly VFX at this point, which means that the movie probably could have been done like within a month or two, which is honestly super short. Like in 2 months, the movie could have been completely finished, which is just insane. And Leslie Grace in a post today, which here I'll put it right here so you can read it. If you want to, you can pause it and read it about the movie Cancellation. But she specifically said that it's been 7 months working on this movie. So 7 months, you know what I mean? That's a lot of time. That's a lot of time, you know what I mean? So clearly these actors dedicated much time to this movie, which is honestly super disrespectful to them, as well as the directors and everybody that worked in this movie, the whole crew. That's super disrespectful. But besides that, the movie also had a $90 million budget. So as you can see, no film is safe. The movie was almost done, $90 million budget. Contracts were made and everything, and it still got canceled. I cannot believe that. It's insane. That's why it was such a huge shock 2 days ago when it was first announced that this Batgirl movie got canceled. It was such a huge shock because nobody expected that. Like, how is a movie like this gonna get canceled? Well, it did. So that means that no film is safe. So does that mean that any other DC movies are going to get canceled? Well, it could mean that. Why? Well, first of all, I think that the next movie that will probably get canceled, even though I'm really hoping it doesn't, but it might get canceled, is going to be the Blue Beetle movie. Now, why do I say this? Well, Blue Beetle was supposed to be the next HBO Max movie. It got moved to theaters very recently. It was like, okay, we're going to move it to theaters, but it was still always supposed to be a smaller scale movie compared to, like, say something like the Batman or, like, Man of Steel. It was always supposed to be a smaller scale, like Black Adam, where it looks a much of grander scale. Blue Beetle was also supposed to be a lot more street level. Blue Beetle, the movie, from the behind scene photos from Blue Beetle. Besides that, also just like the budget for it, like I said, it was supposed to be an HBO Max movie as well. So everything very much pointed to this movie being a kind of like street level movie. Also, the character itself in the comics is not like a huge character. No, he's always supposed to be a smaller scale character. So this movie could get canceled, honestly. Even though it's completely done filming and everything, it could get canceled. I'm gonna be honest, it could get canceled. It would look very bad for Warner Bros. Because both Batgirl and this movie had a Latino lead. You know what I mean? It had Cholo Marihuana for Blue Beetle, which is Latino. Most of you might know him as Miguel from Cobra Kai, and then it had Leslie Grace as Batgirl, who's a singer and also was in The Heights, so you might recognize her from that movie. But yeah, it's very interesting that this movie might get canceled because it is street level, it is lower scale. Like I said, some of those reasons are intertwined. So clearly, the first reason about the movie not being a blockbuster thing could get this movie canceled. And besides that, we've seen that no movie is safe. If Batgirl got canceled, almost any other movie get canceled. So yeah, I think Blue Beetle might be the next one to bite the dust. We'll see. Today they have an announcement. They have like a whole meeting later today. So we're gonna see if they announce anything about this. But let's hope not, because I really don't want Blue Beetle to get canceled. Please don't. So I'm really nervous about that. I'm really nervous. But yeah, another movie that got canceled is The Flash. It's also a really high contender for this movie to get canceled, as recent Erza Miller behavior, that main actor, aka the Flash actor, had a bunch of illegal behavior recently, and it's gotten really bad with constant dangerous behavior like kidnapping. That's a huge accusation, assaulting multiple people, including fans and somebody they went to like go eat or something, and he's assaulting people. Like, it's just bad. It's really bad, especially at Hawaii. He assaulted a lot of people. The movie is definitely been delayed because of this controversy. It's gotten delayed. They haven't really, Warner Bros. Hasn't really said anything about this controversy, which is kind of insane. They just said that they're still going to release the movie, which is also super insane. So yeah, I think that this movie might get canceled. The internet is clearly trying to boycott this movie. I think there's a lot of reasons why this movie is going to be a huge, massive flop at the box office. But is it really going to get canceled? Because usually the way the Hollywood game works is, even if your movie is bad, even if your movie has really low chance to make money, at the end of the day, it's still going to make some money, and some money is better than no money. So if they release it, even if it just makes 100 million total, which it probably will make more, definitely make more. But even if it just makes 100 million total, it's at least 100 million more than they wouldn't have. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's how kind of Hollywood money works. Even if they don't get the profit back, at least they'll get some money back. You know what I mean? So would they actually cancel this movie? Well, who knows? Sure, they canceled a Batgirl, which was $90 million, which is insane. But estimates say that the Flash movie has actually gotten close to $300 million in budget. That's more than triple the amount the Batgirl cost. So yeah, that's insane. I don't know if they can cancel a movie that's $300 million in budget. That's super huge, super big. This would mean a super terrible financial loss for Warner Brothers that honestly I don't think they can afford right now. So we'll see. I don't think it's gonna get canceled, but like I said, no movie is truly safe, and the controversy with Erza Miller has really endangered this movie by a lot. So we'll find out. We'll find out soon. Supergirl movie just got canceled. That's supposed to spin off out of this movie. So perhaps also that might be another sign that this movie is going to get canceled. As well as the Batgirl movie was connected to the Flash movie with Michael Keaton's Batman in it, which is going to be my next reason. But just saying, since Batgirl got canceled, that could mean that they changed the ending for the Flash. Which brings me to my third thing that the Batgirl movie cancellation could mean. And this time is for DC, and that is that after the Flash movie was supposed to end with the Flash very changing time and kind of changing the main DCU timeline to where instead of Ben Affleck being the main Batman of the DCU timeline, they changed it to Michael Keaton being the person that's now the main Batman for that universe, and he was supposed to show up in Batgirl. It's been confirmed by many people, including DC themselves. He was supposed to be in Batgirl for I think like 3 different scenes, so that's not bad. 3 different scenes. It's like a nice kind of like a small cameo, small role, almost cameo, you know what I mean? But yeah, he was supposed to be in that movie because it was supposed to be connected to the Flash, and it was supposed to take up after the events of the Flash, to very change the timeline for Michael Keaton to be the main Batman. So yeah, so they might be changing the ending of the Flash, you know what I mean? And why do I say this? Well, first of all, the movie was canceled, which is a really huge red flag for just Michael Keaton appearing in general. That's a huge red flag. That's a huge thing that Michael Keaton would definitely not like as an actor. That's a big disrespect for an actor to have a whole movie shelf. Nobody's ever very few actors go through this because no studio actually does this, for Warner Bros. For some reason. So yeah, that's a huge level of disrespect. I don't think Michael Keaton might want to come back as this. I think it's really bad. But also, I just think that this shows like, yeah, maybe Michael Keaton is coming back. Why else do I say this? Well, just last week, we saw these photos right here, these photos of Ben Affleck going to the Aquaman 2 reshoots to reshoot scenes. Now, why is this? Well, because since Aquaman 2 is going to come out before The Flash, they have to change the story. And instead of Michael Keaton being the Batman in that movie, because he was supposed to have like 2 scenes in that movie, instead it's going to be Ben Affleck as Batman in that movie, which is super insane. They had the fans go crazy. I went crazy myself. I was like, let's go. But yeah, that here goes to show you that Ben Affleck will continue to be the Batman as of Aquaman 2, which is a huge thing that maybe Ben Affleck is going to stay the main Batman. Because like I said, the Flash movie might get canceled. I honestly think that the Flash movie might get canceled. And if it's not canceled, I do think that they're going to want to change the ending. I don't think they want to keep Michael Keaton as the main Batman anymore. First of all, because of fan reactions, because of very mixed fan reactions to Michael Keaton coming back as Batman to stay. I think that was super controversial. And besides that, I think that Ben Affleck caused a huge like buzz last week whenever they announced that he was coming back. Everybody was going crazy. It was like, oh my god, Ben Affleck's back. So I think that Ben Affleck being back might be a thing because a bunch of people were going crazy with it. So I think that might be a very strong possibility. I really do believe that this could be a super strong possibility. So we'll see. We'll truly find out, but I think that would be awesome. I personally believe that this would be awesome to keep Ben Affleck as the main Batman in DCU. I loved the Mirror Superman and in the Sex and Justice League. I thought he was awesome. So I really am happy that he might be able to have a chance to stay in the DCU. That would be super awesome. Besides that, this might actually mean a really good thing for Restore the Snyderverse fans, that maybe they might want to restore the Snyderverse. Who knows? I think that's a huge possibility. David Zaslav says they want huge blockbuster movies. What could be bigger than the Darkseid himself fighting the Justice League? That's a huge blockbuster event. Every DC fan wants to go see Darkseid versus the Justice League. I mean, come on, that is huge. So I think this could be a huge green flag for the Restore the Snyderverse fans. I think this would be super awesome if that were to happen, because I really want to see the Justice League versus Darkseid. I think this sounds awesome. And besides that, the script for Ben Affleck's Batman movie was supposed to include Batgirl in it by a lot. She was supposed to be a pretty key part of it. And the Warner Brothers themselves did mention that they really want to bring back Leslie Grace as Batgirl and want to work with her again as Batgirl, like I said. So I think the fact that maybe they do end up bringing her back for the Batman movie, I think that could be super awesome. Kind of fix things up instead of just like canceling her movie and that's it. At least I can bring her back for the Batman movie and kind of make her bigger in the DC universe. I think that would be awesome if that could be the case. So I think that the Restore Snyderverse could be a huge possibility to come back after this. The reason why I'm kind of doubting it though is because Zack Snyder right now has a contract with Netflix, which right now he's having the time of his life. He has Army of the Dead 2. He's doing Rebel Moon, which is like his Star Wars pitch movie and everything. So yeah, he has like this huge thing going on. So right now he's perfectly fine with Netflix. So who knows if they actually want to restore the Snyderverse. But like I said, they want big blockbuster movies. Darkseid vs. Justice League, big blockbuster. And they're clearly kind of trying to take away Michael Keaton out of DCU. I think that's pretty clear, to be honest, and kind of keeping Ben Affleck as the main DCU Batman. So I think that this could be a pretty nice thing for the Restore Snyderverse fans. Maybe they will get restored. Who knows? It is new leadership, complete new people. So maybe they could, maybe they could not. We'll find out. We truly will find out. It'll be super interesting to see what's up with that. The fourth thing that the Batgirl movie Cancellation could mean is that the movie maybe was just too bad that it would damage the DC brand way too much. Many reports, including the New York Post, which is the one who originally broke the story, posted that the movie was just unwatchable. Really bad, really unwatchable. Sure, they were super biased in that article, kind of calling out Marvel like a lot better than DC and a lot of things. Whether you agree with that or not, they were super biased in the article, so I don't really know if they're the most trusted source. However, many other people like Hollywood Reporter, the ex-Hollywood Reporter editor, also mentioned that he also heard from his sources that the Batgirl movie was pretty bad. Deadline mentioned how their sources said that the movie was okay, and many other sources did say that the movie movie felt like a bad TV show episode, which is super interesting. However, there's some other things there's some other positive reactions where many people said that they actually heard from a lot of sources that they thought the movie was good, they thought the movie was fun. Sure, it was street level, but they thought the movie was very fun and just kind of had a lot of charisma to it. So that's really interesting. Kind of we see kind of both sides, and overall, I think that clearly the movie would have had very mixed reactions if it came out. From people thinking it was cheap and from people thinking it was pretty dumb, to other people thinking that this was a really fun, nice movie. I think it's clear that this movie, whenever it came out, would have had very, very divisive word of mouth, and I think it's kind of interesting to just think about. So yeah, I think that's one of the main reasons why maybe David Zaslav also thought about taking out this movie, because he doesn't want to damage the brand any more than it already is. Clearly, he has a vision for it, and taking this off the mat clearly means that he cannot afford to hurt DC anymore. He wants to have a clear line of what DC movies will now be, which is making them big blockbuster movies, not small scale kind of divisive movies. He does not want that. So clearly that's the case. Test screens, like I said, kind of resulted very mixed. People saying it was fun, some people saying it was completely unwatchable. So that's really interesting. I think it's really interesting to just see how David Zaslav really feels strong about no movies that are going to be divisive. Like many DC movies have already been too divisive, that divided the fan base and everything. He wants no divisiveness in this fandom anymore. He wants to make big blockbuster movies that are going to make huge chunks of money and that audience can trust to go every time, just like more audiences can trust Marvel to go. Like every time a new Marvel movie comes out, audiences go back. He wants that for DC movies. So yeah, that's really crazy. So maybe the movie was just too bad. We wouldn't know because we haven't seen the movie. I wouldn't know, so who knows? But maybe the movie was just too bad. Who knows? But honestly, I think that's really interesting that he really canceled a whole $90 million movie just because he would have been divisive. That clearly shows that he has something super strict for DC Universe. And that's, I think, personally a good sign that, yeah, he really wants the DC Universe to really work. So yeah, this has its ups and downs. Now, for the fifth and last thing this Batgirl movie cancellation could mean is that HBO Max is going to be disappearing. Definitely not a priority anymore for the new leadership. It looks like it's just going to be gone. Why? Well, rumors ever since Tuesday, even before the movie got canceled, have been going crazy from scoopers like especially Grace Randolph, who broke out this news, how HBO Max will most likely cease to exist. It will no longer exist, and instead it will merge to Discovery Plus perhaps with a rename. It won't be called Discovery Plus. It might have like a different name, but it seems like HBO Max is no longer going to exist and it's just going to merge with Discovery Plus. This is a really, really interesting thing. And this rumor is definitely proving to be true. Why? Well, recently, whenever the Batgirl movie got announced that it was canceled, it wasn't just that movie. In fact, they announced that the Scooby-Doo $40 million budgeted animated movie, if I'm right, was canceled, which is insane because everything was basically already done. The movie was almost literally done. From a bunch of creators that reacted to this announcement of that Scooby-Doo movies and said how the movie was basically done. They just needed like a little bit more on the lighting, but that was pretty much it. They basically had the movie done. A Scooby-Doo movie, $40 million budget animated movie for HBO Max, completely canceled, completely scrapped, despite the fact that it was already done. That's incredible. That's something really bad. I'm like, wow, that's a lot of money wasted. That's truly a lot of money wasted. Also for the tax thing, so they get some tax money from it because they didn't monetize from it. That's insane. That's really, really insane. How else? Well, you can see that 6 HBO Max original movies disappeared from the service without any notice. They just kind of disappeared from the service. So it seems like they're cleaning off a lot of content that they have there from original things, which is super, super interesting. And the last thing that truly makes me believe this is that 70% of the HBO Max development staff is expected to get laid off super soon. It's super soon. A bunch of rumors have been going crazy about how this is true, and I truly believe this is true because if not, nobody else would be covering this. But everybody is. Deadline, Variety, everybody is. 70% of HBO Max development staff is expected to be laid off. That is an insane amount. 70%. Not 50%, not 20%, 70%. That's so much. That means only 30% of the HBO Max development stuff will stay there, which is just insane. So clearly HBO Max is planning to kind of cease to exist, to kind of merge into Discovery Plus, which I think is a kind of like a really bad move. Personally, I think HBO Max is probably like the best streaming, somewhere around the best streaming service out there. I think it's actually having amazing content, adult content, everything. And I think it's really terrible that is the case. I would hate if HBO Max ceases to exist. However, later today, around 4 p.m. Eastern Time, there's supposed to be announcements. There's expected announcements as Warner Bros. Discovery is going to have a whole meeting call over the presentation of everything, including movies, shows, streaming services, everything. They're going to be going over everything in today's meeting. So it is expected that there will be announcements made there. And I think that the main announcement is going to be that HBO Max and Discovery Plus are going to merge into one streaming service. We don't know which is going to merge to who or what the name is going to be, but it is super interesting. And clearly HBO Max is going to be the one taking the biggest hit by getting 70% of the workers laid off and content off and content canceled. Clearly HBO Max is going to be the biggest biggest one taking the hit. So yeah, it's really interesting. It's really interesting to see what things are going to happen with all these shows and everything, and it makes me really nervous. I'm just like, oh, why? HBO Max was so good. Netflix is definitely like laughing, like, let's go, we're doing super bad decisions, but HBO Max is killing itself, so we're fine, you know what I mean? It's really sad to just see like a streaming service kind of die like this. We'll see if it actually ends up being like that, but we're hoping that's not the case. But yeah, clearly this Batgirl cancellation movie could mean a lot of very, very big, powerful things. So yeah, these are 5 things that this Batgirl movie cancellation could mean. As just a recap, it could mean that DC movies from now going on are going to be a huge blockbuster. I definitely think this is true. And no films are safe. I think more films are yet to be cancelled, especially Blue Beetle. I think Blue Beetle has a really strong chance to be cancelled, and perhaps The Flash. We'll find out. As well as I think that Ben Affleck is going to stay as the main DCEU Batman. As I think the Flash movie either might not release, like I said, no films are safe, or they might completely change the ending. As it seems like Ben Affleck Batman is actually going to stay in the main DC canon storyline. We'll find out, but I think that might be the big case. The 4th thing that this could mean, like I mentioned, is going to be that the movie maybe was just too bad, and David Zaslav will not allow any bad movies to come out anymore from DC, because he wants somewhere divisiveness in the DC universe, which means that from now on he's going to be very strict with what comes out from DC. Clearly he does not want anything that's divisive. He wants things that are clearly going to be kind of like mainstream, kind of like Marvel. So this could be a good thing or a bad thing depending on what side you're on, and especially if you want kind of street level movies and that type of stuff, if it's this blockbuster category and everything. So yeah, he's really strict now with DC movies. He clearly has a very clear vision of what he wants with DC. So yeah, he has really strong leadership with DC, and we'll see what he ends up doing with it. I'm hoping great things. But yeah, we'll find out. Hopefully Superman movie, because, you know, big blockbuster. He has a Superman movie already, you know what I mean? Henry Cavill, please. But yeah, I'm super excited to see what he does, and also super nervous. And then the last thing, and this one's the saddest one, is that HBO Max looks like it's going to be completely gone, completely disappearing, kind of merging to Discovery Plus, but kind of losing all this content and everything. And I expect a lot of cancellations from the original shows. So yeah, that makes me super nervous. We'll see what truly happens, but that makes me super, super nervous. But yeah, that's basically what the five things that the Batgirl movie cancellation means for, or could mean, and in the grand scope of things. Clearly, that's a lot of very powerful, strong things, and super, super crazy. But yeah, if you enjoyed this video and if you found it informative, then just please leave a like. It's very, very helpful. So please leave a like. So tell me down in the comments, what do you think about all these things? Are you excited for any of these things? Do any things make you nervous? Do things make you sad? Especially the HBO Max thing, the Ben Affleck thing, the Restore Snyderverse perhaps, the Superman movie maybe coming out because of big blockbusters. What do you think with David Zaslav's new leadership going towards DC? Tell me what you think about it down in the comments. I'm very, very curious. As well as just make sure to subscribe for a lot more content. Trust me, you're gonna have to see a lot of content coming very, very soon forward, especially recording this topic because the meeting's coming up, and we're obviously gonna get official announcements or official kind of news about HBO Max and everything. So yeah, expect a bunch of content coming very, very soon. So subscribe for all the content to stay up to date on everything that's going on. And yeah, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. Hope you have a great rest of your day. And this is James Entertainment. Out.